Welcome to Colombia! My name is Frank. I run a travel agency here in Bogota, Colombia, and I've been living here in Colombia for over 5 years. Today's topic is the Llanos of Colombia. Today we are hosted by the Zoo Hostel here in the middle of La Candelaria, the historic part of Bogota. Thanks for hosting us. It's a very nice hostel, many dormitories, and also you will find table tennis. If you're a pro in table tennis, you should consider staying at this hostel. And you have a nice garden, you have a barbecue. I think I have to come the next time when they heat it. I can imagine they make some good beef. And talking about beef, we also will in the Llanos Travel Guide. So talking about the Llanos, we're not going to talk about the whole Llanos, but just the Llanos of the department of Casanare. This department has the size of Switzerland, and the main industry is cattle. There is also some oil and some monoculture. So why should you go actually to the Llanos? Some older people, that's actually funny, remembered. I was lately talking to a guy who was in his 70s, and he said, yeah, the Llanos. I was there in Venezuela. And yes, the Llanos is very big. I think we have a map where we can show. The size of the Llanos is actually huge, and it consists several departments. It's like 5, and it goes into Venezuela. And the part we're talking about is just Casanare, a small part of it. But you can do actually all activities that you're looking for in the Llanos just in that region. And there's more. Why Casanare? When I came here to Colombia, I made my MBA at the University of Los Andes, and today my best friend, Eduardo. Hey, Eduardo. So his family actually more or less adopted me. So they have one more son, and that means today I'm partly Llanero, and that means I'm a Colombian cowboy, parts of me. And they always invite me to the family gatherings and Christmas party, and that's just so great. I really have a local Colombian family today, and that makes me really happy. So this is why I'm so close to Casanare. I've been there like 7 or 8 times, and I know a little bit about it, therefore. So let's start into the topic. The Llanos, whole Llanos has an area of over 375 square kilometers, which is quite big. And that's actually the size of Japan. And also here I have the departments. The Colombian Llanos is also called the Orinoco, and includes the departments Meta, Arauca, Casanare and Vichada. This is just the Colombian side, but there's also the Venezuelan side. So Casanare has an area of 44,500 square kilometers. It's the most area is very flat. The average altitude is 350 meters above sea level, and that means in general it's very hot. 350 meters above sea, this is 1,150 feet for our US American viewers. Then also you have parts of the Cordilleras, and there you go up to 4,000 meters above sea level, which is 13,000 feet above sea level. Population is almost 400,000 inhabitants in the whole department, and Yopal, the capital, has approximately 150,000 inhabitants. The average temperature is about 30 degrees Celsius or 86 Fahrenheit. The rain season starts in May and lasts until October. And during rain season, they have a so-called aguacero, and it rains so hard that whole regions of the Llanos actually get flooded. So you cannot go there by car anymore. You need almost a boat, or you need a boat, or you can use a plane. This is actually a good way to travel around the Llanos in a little plane, and they can land everywhere. And you have them stationed in Yopal, in the capital. So what's the typical gastronomy? When you go to Yopal, what you will find is typical local restaurants, and because they have the whole cow business in the whole region, I think they produce about 40 to 50,000 livestock a month. Of course, you have beef. One of the most famous dishes is mamona, which is a veal dish, and it's prepared on open fire. It's really delicious. And you get products, everything about meat and beef. And so if you're a meat eater, that's a perfect region for you. Then also, when you arrive to Yopal, one of the first things you need to do is to buy yourself a cowboy hat. I just realized I forgot my cowboy hat for this talk in the office, but you see that in many videos. It's just what you need to start the cowboy feeling. What can you do around Yopal, the capital of Casanare? You can go to the Virgin, which is a huge statue on a little hill. People usually go there early in the morning. They walk up, they go with their bikes, they run up there, and you have a great overview over town. You also can go to the thematic stone park. You need a car to go there. It's about 20 minutes from Yopal. And then you have all the emblematic animals. You have the Orinoco crocodile, you have the chigüiros, you have anaconda, and it's a great spot because you can do a little walk, a little trail, and up there, it's not that big, but up there you have a little coffee house, and you have a great overview over the river, over Yopal. So this is something you should do when you have some time in Yopal. Also, what you can do, but then you have to get up really early in the morning, you can go and do some bird watching, because Yopal is very close to the Andean mountain range. You can appreciate the different levels and see some cool birds. Then outside of Yopal, very close, you find Finca La Fortuna. There's a separate video about that. They offer actually everything from the cowboy life, handling cattle, doing the Llano safari. They're right next to a river, so they have a boat, and you can go and search for some monkeys or birds or whatever animals. They have very great food. You will always have something to drink because they're doing a great job. It's a great hotel. So on Finca Fortuna, it's really complete. It's not like too deep into the Llanos, and it's not super luxury, but it's good. It's a good standard. And also what is very interesting, they have right on the other side of the river, they grow oil palms, and they do tours, so you can learn everything about that, which is quite interesting. Then you also can visit some little towns close by, because they also grow coffee, they grow cocoa, and they have different activities. And you can go to Tamara and Nunchia. Those are towns more uphill. And then you can go to Trinidad. Trinidad, I think it's about 2 hours from Yopal, and that's where the Llanos begins, because there you have all the hatos, you have all the natural reservas naturales, natural parks. So Trinidad is actually a very good starting point to go to different hatos, to experience different plants. I don't tell you to stay in Trinidad, you can, but it's just a little cowboy town. But usually I recommend people staying on a hato, one of those big farms. And what can you do in that region of Trinidad? You can go to the Rancho Museo El Chanerazo. This is Seco's home, and Seco, he's the most VIP of the whole region because he won the biggest competition in the Llanos 15-20 years ago. He was wrestling down anacondas, and he was riding and swimming through the rivers with cows, just with the horse. There was a crazy competition. If you're more interested in that, I'm sure you'll find some information on Google. But he won it actually, and he's such a great guy, and you will never see him with shoes. He's always bare feet, like the Llaneros. The Llaneros are the real inhabitants of the region. They don't wear shoes, always bare feet, and that's awesome. They ride horses, no shoes. They walk everywhere, no shoes. It's incredible. So when you go there, you should actually visit his home because he exhibits findings from Asian cultures, from indigenous cultures, stones and whatever stuff, but also the Llanos culture. He explains everything. He shows the tools they're using, and if you're lucky, he will also show you how to cross a river on a horse, which is the highlight. And also he has food and lemonade and this is something you should include if you go to Casanare. Then you have El Encanto de Guanapalo. This is a private reserve. It consists of 3 hatos, which is one of the plants we usually sell. Hato Mato de Palma, Hato de Altamira, and Hato Montana. You can get there in about 3 hours from Yopal, and they offer everything from bird watching, from the Llano Safari, which it's a must. It's so great. You can do the Llano Safari on the horse. They have a tractor. You can do it on a 4x4. You can do it walking, and you can see so many animals. It's just amazing, and you're on this plane, and there's nobody, just the animals and the guide, and I love that region. It's so beautiful, and also the best sunsets in whole Colombia, they say. So if you're not believing that, you have to go there and find it out yourself. Then also you can go to Alta Gracia. This is the pure wilderness. It takes you about 8 hours from Yopal. That's actually a good plan then to go by plane. It's not so expensive, but it's worth the money because then you fly 1 hour, not 8 hours driving by car because you don't have paved roads out there. And during rainy season, it's all flooded anyway. And you will see the difference. If you go to Alta Gracia, the animals, they will run away when they see you. And in other hatos where the animals are more used to humans, they're not running away right away. So Alta Gracia, they have a really great plan, great hosts, and they have this lagoon with all those birds on the trees. I remember when I was there last year, it was just amazing. I have to go back there. So this is actually a destination where you can have the real Llanos feeling. You wake up in the morning with the cowboys, you go out with the cowboys, you see all those animals like a big anteater, and this is what you can do in the Llanos. Then you have more destinations like Hato Los Deseos. We made the video with the whole cattles, that they brand them and they vaccine them. You also can go to Hato Berlin. They have a lagoon, and in the evening all the birds flying over the lagoon. When you're on the boat, it's just amazing, and they land on the trees because they spent the night there. And in Hato Berlin, I actually saw my first big anteater, and it came along walking and until 3 meters because they have a very bad sight. And I was just standing and waiting, and he realized so late that I was there. It was amazing, like 3 meters. It was awesome. And also you have Hato La Aurora, which is the most famous hato in the whole region. I think they're offering tourist services for the longest time. and it's a huge natural region. They really protect and preserve, and you also can do everything there, but it's also very difficult to get there. And when I visited them, I took a plane, which took us 45 minutes. I went there in the morning and came back in the evening to Yopal. So the actual list, what can you see, or just some of the animals you can find in the Llanos? It's the jaguar, and this is one of the most amazing animals. It's like in the top 3 of having the strongest jaws in the world. You can see the capybara or chigüiro. You also can eat them, they're quite delicious. Then you have the big anaconda, which is more easy to find during dry season when you have a good guide. They actually know where they hide in the mud. Then you have the giant anteater, you have the Orinoco crocodile, you have armadillo, you have cougars, you have sloths, monkeys, giant otters. They're very funny and quite noisy. You have different birds like the scarlet ibis and burrowing owl. So there's so much to do and to see, and lots of meat to eat. Then transport. In the Llanos, it's not a real backpacker destination, so it also will be a bit more pricey. There are not that many buses. If you go there, you want to do your Llano safari, you want to stay on a hato, you really are advised to have a professional operator with a 4x4 car, or we have an operator there with the Safari 4x4, where you have on the back you have the benches where you can sit outside, take pictures with the telelens and everything. That's a great plan. You have the tractor when the region is flooded, where you're really high up, and of course you have the horses. But just going there and moving around by taxi or local transportation, a bit more difficult. Then also you have the little airplanes where you can fly actually everywhere. You also have a helicopter company because you have oil in Casanare, so you also have those services for people who have a little bit more money to spend. So in terms of transportation, I really advise to contract professionals. Then bugs, of course. It's hot, it's humid, and we're in Colombia, so you have the mosquitoes, you also have ticks in the grass, be careful. And then you have those little animals which are called Trombicula autumnalis. And they're like so tiny you cannot see them. And there's no protection, no repellent, no rubber boots, no nothing. They're so tiny and they just get into your skin, and then you have it's just so annoying. You don't die, it's just annoying because you want to stretch and it's itchy, and the only thing that helps is Vicks Vaporub. You put it on the skin and then die. Also, when you go to cooler climate like Bogota, within 1 day they die and your skin heals. In terms of bugs, this is what you have, the annoyance of the region. But if you can live with that, it should be no issue. So this is actually all the information I can give you about the Casanare, the Llanos of Colombia. If you would like to travel there and experience one of the greatest trips of your life, send me a direct mail. I can help you with that. I can give you more information. You also find more information down in the description section. If you like our video, give us a like. Hit the subscription button and the bell, and if you have questions, write them down in the comment section. That's it for today. I send you all the best wishes from today's partly sunny Bogota, and I hope to see you soon back on the channel, or hopefully even better here in Colombia. Yours, Colombiafrank. Bye bye.